DJI Mini 4 Pro, our experience. Got that coming up next. Bill the Drone Reviewer here. If you like the content of this video or anything on my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any future content. With that, let's begin. The other night, I hosted Rotor Talk Live and was joined by Mr. Marcus Crawford and Mr. Ron Brown. We spent the better part of the evening discussing our experiences with the DJI Mini 4 Pro so far. So without any further ado, let's roll that clip in its entirety. One of the things that I wanted to spend some time talking about is we've all had several flights under our belt with the Mini 4 Pro. And first of all, the first question I wanted to ask both of you, what has surprised you in a good way? And then second question, what surprised you in not a good way?
Oh, that's a good one. Marcus, you have something you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm working on this link, Ron.
Yeah, he's getting a link. And Bill, before I get my answer, I enjoyed your high altitude test.
Thank you.
The other day or whatever.
We had
no
some
issues.
We had a little bit of commentary at the beginning about that, and I straightened some people out because this is a video. If you followed my channel for any length of time, okay, you know that I do a video called altitude test with every drone I get, okay, and then a first person asked me what's an altitude test, and I went through a litany of things that I test with it, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I get 3 or 4 other comments, the same exact comment. So those comments are no longer appearing on my channel. And then I had another gentleman say, well, I really like the one where he went up to a mile. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's not, I have to pull out the link all the time for the FAA for 400 feet AGL, here we go again kind of a thing. And,
so these people didn't take their trust test,
Yeah, 99%, including everybody that's in the chat tonight, they know the drill. They know what kind of videos I'm going to be putting out, and they know that's one of the things. They can count on Marcus going to the Snake River Canyon for his first flight with every drone. Okay, they can count on Bill doing an altitude test with every drone he gets. Okay, that's just one of those things. All right, and one of the other things that I didn't put in my description, but you need to realize there's a different orientation when you're up at 400 feet versus 100 feet, all right? You need to make sure that you've adjusted that pitch of that gimbal so and you can recognize landmarks down there. Because if that gimbal's up too far, you're not going to recognize landmarks. You're going to get lost, and that's not a good thing, okay? So, that's one of the other things. And then several other people piped in the chat, which is really good. What do you need to do up at 400 feet? Okay. Today, I don't know who put it out, but somebody put out some fall foliage from New England. And I don't know, I think they may use the Air 3 or the Mini 3 Pro or something. It was probably about 100, 150 feet. Fantastic shots. Okay. You don't need to be up to 400 feet to get these great shots.
Right.
Right.
And plus, before the days of 04 and 03 or whatever, we used to fly higher to keep our signal. The higher you fly, the more you would maintain your signal. Marcus has his link up for the Booyah.
Hey, it's actually cheaper now. I paid $19.95, and I saw it was $15.95 today. So I don't know how long that'll last.
That's a very good point, Marcus. All these products that we recommend from third-party sellers like Booyah or Start RC, these prices, like the stock market, these prices go up and down almost on a daily. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But I'm just saying, we quote a price. It's not that we're wrong. It's just that the price is fluctuate often. So,
I think part of the reason it's Prime Deals Day today and tomorrow.
That's true.
I think that because there's been a lot of discount on a lot of things. Okay.
Hey, let me also add. I want to throw this caveat out here. I have not used this yet, so I don't know how good the quality is. So I just took it out of the box just now. So
you may sound like you're on Mars with audio or something.
I'll let you know first time I get a chance
Oh.
to try it out.
But the nice thing, Mark, is if they ordered off Amazon and you come back and say it doesn't work right, they got free return shipping, get their money back.
Again, that's a good thing about Amazon. Hey, so the other thing, to your point, your question, the thing that there's a couple things that I was pleasantly surprised with on the Mini 4, and Ron and I have talked about this extensively, is it feels, for lack of a better term, more athletic. In other words, if you look at the specs, it doesn't fly any faster, it doesn't ascend any faster, it doesn't do any of that. But when you're flying it, it seems like it gets to that speed faster. So that's one thing. But the other thing that I was really happy about was how well the Active Track and APAS work. Now, I have not used that 360 tracking yet. I can't wait to try that out. Ron has, huh?
Just this afternoon.
Yeah, I can't wait to mess around with that. But when I was doing my tracking video, I wanted to, you know what? I'm going to do what I know, and let's just see how well it tracks, and it did really well. And that APAS is just phenomenal. I mean, it just, I know there's people out there that have crashed their Mini 4s already, hitting a little branch or something, but boy, common sense rules the day. Man, you got to work to crash that little drone.
Dustin Dunn clipped like a bear, a twig or whatever in a tree.
Yeah, and Billy Kyle did as well, and our friend, oh gosh, I can't think of his name right now. The guy in Holland on his bicycle, Ron.
Heinrich.
No.
DC Rainmaker?
DC Rainmaker.
I couldn't think of his name. He crashed his about 5 times in one video, running into stuff. But in any case, that's a whole nother subject. Now, on the negative side, I got to be honest with you. I can't think of anything that I just can't. It's in every sense, it's at least as good or better than its predecessor. I got one more. One of the other big things that I've been so pleasantly surprised about is how well the autofocus works. That autofocus focuses instantly, and the Mini 3 Pro does not. So,
well, I was going to say,
I'll give you mine.
Go ahead, Ron.
First of all, I want to give Marcus agree that. Again, if it just when you're in the air, it just feels like it's flying much better than the Mini 3 Pro. It feels more like the Air 3 up there than it does the Mini 3 or whatever. Again, I can't tell you one thing, but it just feels more secure when it's hovering up there. It seems to handle the wind better than the Mini 3 Pro, and it just likes to fly better. And I got cons, Bill, but most of these cons aren't really related to the drone itself. One of the cons is, of course, the RC2 controller, and this really is, again, the same problem as on the Air 3 as the Mini 4. The problem with screen recordings, being able to get screen recordings, manage them on the device, and getting them off. There's a whole bunch of workarounds, but people shouldn't have to come up with these convoluted workarounds or whatever. It should just work. It's been a problem since the Air 3. They've had time to work with it. Come on, DJI, figure it out. And
and you think it's a software issue. That's all it is.
Yeah,
it's weird.
They got to get that programmer. The programmer was so busy working on the Pocket 3, he didn't have time to get back in there and fix this issue with the controller. And go ahead, Mark.
I just was going to explain the difference between a Mac and a PC when you do it. If you use the photo downloader on your PC, it will find them. It will find it instantly. However, it will not if you have if you still got the micro SD card in it. It'll tell you that it can't find it on the device. You pull the card out, and it will find it.
Thank you. Good.
And
I said a convoluted workaround that people shouldn't have to work through. Another thing, Bill, DJI's been slow in adding capabilities or compatibility with the DJI goggles, whether it's the Integra or the goggles 2 and the Motion 2. That stuff works with the Mini 3 Pro, and it now works with the Air 3. from a firmware update about a week or two ago, whatever. Why is it here for the Mini 4? Is this lack of not enough programs to get it working, or because it's the same controller? I know it's coming, and people say it's coming, but it should be here, whatever. Already, since again it's on the Air 3. So just a couple little cons, and here's not a con at all. I'll go Marcus on this one. But when I was out there using the DJI RC N2 in my phone, I mean, still, as much as I thought the RC2 was the world's greatest controller, and it kind of is, it's still not as fast as using the phone. When you use the Fly app on your phone and you're touching buttons and menus around, they still work. They still react quicker on your phone than they do the RC2.
Yeah, your iPhone.
Well, I have the older iPhone at this point. I have the 14 Pro, so I don't even have the current generation. And again, it's still, when I go to tap menus and move things around, it's still, the response time is better than the RC2.
Well, the 14 Pro has the same processor as the iPhone 15. Now, the 15 Pro has an advanced one, but I'm the only point I'm trying to make, Ron. Your 14 Pro has a fast processor.
Yeah. So
that's not even media is saying that when he syncs. If he doesn't have an audio recorded on his screen recording, you're syncing the mic to that, and that is a really good point. So whether I actually use the audio off the screen recording or not doesn't matter. I will be able to instantly synchronize from my DJI mic to this in post-processing. It makes it so much easier when you can sync the audio.
Mm-hmm.
Good points. And, I kind of want to piggyback a little bit. One of the negatives that I found out, okay, because I did 3 flights pretty much right in a row. And between flights, okay, I was getting set up for the next one, and, and I had to stop my B-roll camera and everything. And I noticed it, and it wasn't more than 2 minutes. The drone was starting to get a little on the warm side. Okay.
Okay.
And now I kind of back that up here a little bit. Our temperatures, we're finally starting to get fall weather down here in Florida. Okay. It's it's mid 60s overnight and in the morning, which is very nice and comfortable. So it's not like it was burning and blazing hot and humid and everything. So it did heat up a little bit, but again, that was that transition where, I'm taking at least a couple of minutes. And what I did was each time I shut it off. Okay. Because it was going to take me at least 2-3 minutes to get everything reoriented, set up to what I wanted to do the next time with that. Okay. So that's one of them. One of the other ones is, and I don't even want to call it, it's not a negative, it's really more of a positive. Okay. Is how it handled in the wind. Because we had a pretty windy day here, and especially when I took the altitude test up to 400 feet, it was fairly significant. I mean, you could see the palms were moving pretty good up there, and then of course when you go aloft, okay, those winds aloft, they're much stronger than they are on the ground.
Yeah.
And one of the things I could hear the ESCs compensating when it was overhead, when it was flying overhead, but conversely, all right. I looked at that video quality from that camera. It didn't skip a beat the whole time it was recording. Okay, from up at 400 feet. So that tells me that stability of that camera at 400 feet with the wind kicking it around pretty good. It was fantastic.
Bill, this definitely isn't your father's mini drone.
Hey, yeah, no. Can I pile on to that, Bill?
Yes.
So you just made a really good point. And one of the advancements that DJI has made with, I believe, both the Mini 3 and the Mini 4 is the control of that gimbal. I flew the Mini 2 the other day, and it's a great drone. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. But you throw it in sport mode, or you get any kind of a side wind or something, and it can tilt that gimbal. And in sport mode, obviously, it has to kick the gimbal because as it pitches forward. And I also think it has to do with the strength of the motors in the gimbal itself. And DJI clearly solved that with
yeah, that's
with
nice to
both
see
the Mini
those
3 and
those
Mini
days
4.
gone of the droopy gimbal.
Yeah,
In sport mode.
yeah,
Good point, Marcus.
yeah.
And Bill, I before we get off, about the heating issues. I understand that it may get a little warm when you're doing a firmware update on the desktop, or whatever. But like I flew, again, I flew a thing today, which like all other flights, I had the plus battery and flew for 30 minutes. I landed, drone, picked it right up. It wasn't even warm. Of course, I'm flying in. It was the upper 60s. It was a good breeze going, so it was a lot of air ventilating. But I picked up the drone wasn't even warm. I mean, it was that self cooling or whatever. Again, I understand inside, but just like these action cameras, these drones, they're meant to be outside, and they're meant to have air cooling them, going through them or whatever.
Exactly.
And using them inside in a closed house on a desk, maybe with a light on or something like that. It is just, we have to pay some kind of price for these devices to be so small. The action cameras, so small, these drones so small. It's a price we have to pay, and one of those prices is they need to be ventilated.
It's physics, isn't it, Ron? It's just physics.
Simple physics. Yeah. The whole thing, in cooling it down, and that's how DJI has designed that. And one of the other things that I wanted to touch on tonight is pricing on this. Okay. And I know, and I got to say this, okay. After digesting everything and having had it for a while and flown it 3 or 4 times and everything. Okay. One of the things that I've always said about DJI, you get a lot of bang for your buck. And it is exactly the same case. And even in this instance, okay, looking at the actual price differential between, say, when the Mini 3 Pro was new and when the Mini 4 Pro was new, okay, there's not a big difference here. It's not like it's a gargantuan.
No, the sticker shock came last year with the Mini 3 Pro. We got the sticker shock last year. This year they held the line.
I'll even go you one better, Ron. I remember because you and I were there together at that time when the Mavic 3 came out. We were both like, holy cow. We were expecting like a $1,600 drone, and it was over $2,000. And I remember having a little bit
I remember everybody kept saying it was $3,000 because everybody assumed the fly mark,
right.
Everybody assumed, again, they assumed that was the price that they I guess they assumed it wasn't released as just a drone or whatever.
Yeah.
Those leaks that we had that kind of pricing on it, so that's why we assumed those prices for the Mavic 3.
But think about that; they've held the price on that Mavic 3 Pro as well, right? You're getting more drone for the money, and it's another $50.
So again, kind of like that. We got a sticker shock, on that 2 years ago, and then this year they kind of held the line on prices. So, I mean, we got a little sticker shock on the Air 3 this year, but not too much because we knew it'd be more than the Air 2S because that drone was over 2 years old.
Okay, I just thought of something I got to throw at you guys. So I'm just talking about DJI consumer drones here, not other brands.
Okay.
Just DJI.
No Altels.
Yeah, no Altels, no Femies.
No Hubsons.
If somebody came up to you, Bill, and said, Bill, what is the best bang for the buck drone I can buy today? DJI drone I can buy today. What would you tell them?
DJI Air 3.
Ron?
My first question would be, well, what's your budget?
Well, no. Bang for the buck. So just the one that gets you the most for the money.
Yeah. I would get the Air 3.
I'm still going to say
Mini 4, huh? Mini 4, yeah.
I'm still going to say the Air 2S. You can get that
buy
more package for under $1,000.
I wasn't even thinking non-current drone. Okay.
Well, it is still. I'm still going to call it a current drone because DJI is still selling them new. It's not like
you want to hear this.
Yeah.
You know what I found out this week? You can buy a Mavic 3, the original Mavic 3, refurbished from DJI for $1,600.
Well, there's another great buy.
Man, that is
$1,600. Okay. Yeah. I am so tempted because I got the DJI RC Pro. I have a battery back there. Okay. In refurbished, you get that warranty, same as new. I mean, it's like
best drone and best controller, Bill.
Question of the day: What did you think of DJI Mini 4 Pro, our experience? Let me know in the comments section below. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, it's a great day to fly.